Do you watch Billions? Well, if you do, Denise Shull she's got a character based on her, Wendy Rhodes. She is also the CEO of the ReThink Group. So you help athletes, directors, traders try and optimize the psychological side of risk. And we live in a risky time right now. We're all trying to figure out how to better manage risk. I want to know, in these last 8 weeks, what was did you work with traders, and what was the number one issue for them?
Definitely work with traders. And the number one issue is staying with their conviction, or conviction is the word that the hedge funds use and the investors use, and confidence is the word that the traders use. But they're really talking about the same thing, right? They're talking about that sense of what's right and that sense of what's going to happen. So what I saw through the most volatile periods is that people who I could get them centered in what they believed did the best. It was if they deviated, from being provoked from all that crazy market action and did either deviated from their original plan, or, well, this is also deviate, but take someone else's trade. Those things never work out. So you lose the money and you're mad at yourself. Where if they could stay convicted or stay confident in their trade and execute on that, then even if it didn't work out, it doesn't have the sort of debit to your mental capital. It's okay, sometimes I'm wrong. And it was easier for people to regroup.
How do you do that? I mean, did you see people literally when we were bottoming out, are they calling you and saying, Denise, what do I do? How do I keep my conviction? I mean, for regular people, even how do you actually keep your conviction when it comes to timing the market, which we say, oh, it's impossible to time the market?
So here's the superpower that's ironic. And it's being able to answer the question, what am I feeling and why am I feeling it? And get the answer right. Do it over time so you get to know yourself. People think, take the emotion out of it. Well, first of all, you literally can't do that. The decision science shows you have to have emotion to make a decision. And every decision has two tracks. It has the analytic piece, or whatever your system or approach strategy is, and then it has the how much do you believe it and how confident are you in it. Well, you can get organized about understanding that second half of it. So, I didn't have new people out of the blue call me up and say help. We did actually get a lot of incoming calls. I sort of take that back because I didn't get those, but my team did pick up a lot of new clients in the past 6 weeks or so, come to think of it. But for my regular clients, it's helping them be able to answer that, what am I feeling and why? So they know also when they're getting drug off track, or they can, they know what their core I spent a lot of time on the phone sort of asking questions, knowing what the person's core conviction was, but I don't want to tell people what to do. So I'd be asking questions so they'd remember that, what they had said last week. But it's teaching people how to answer that question. What am I feeling and why, as it relates to their confidence in any decision, really.
Hey, Denise, Rick Newman here. So we're in a time when terrible things are happening to people that they can't control. So in your business, you're dealing with some things people can control, but also some things people can. It might be a huge loss that you could not have seen coming. But, look at all the people losing their jobs and their livelihoods. What is, this is a complicated question, but what is the best way to react if you've just been completely knocked over and you don't even know what to do next?
Not be judgmental of yourself and your feelings. This is a time where there are things to mourn, whether you know someone who's passed or you lost your job. If this is ever a time, this is a time that sadness is a part of this, sadly or unfortunately. And we've been taught so much to try to stay positive. But what the research actually shows is when you can put even the most negative, uncomfortable feelings into words, they become less overwhelming, less disruptive. You can say, I'm so sad, or I'm so afraid, and just respect that in yourself with no judgment. And actually, going inward and doing that will lead you maybe to what you can do. Whereas if you try to shove it aside, it just doesn't work. It comes out in other ways. So there's this irony of like being able to be, it's called negative emotion differentiation if you want to get scientific, but being able to differentiate amongst fear, frustration, sadness. It's actually a skill.
A skill we all have to work on. What am I feeling and why? Something that it's a tough question to answer sometimes, but Denise Shull, thanks for joining us and talking to us about your strategy and your work during the pandemic and just the last few months. Appreciate it.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.